Hi, welcome to this channel. This is the third time I'm doing this, which we will get into in a second. And yeah, welcome to the booktube newbie tag. Let's just go straight in, no kissing, shall we? I'm Christina. It's nice to meet you if I haven't. It's nice to know you if I have. I am joining booktube for the third time. This is my third time making this video. I made YouTube videos when I was a teenager. I posted like specifically booktube videos. I did it for months and months. I loved it. I kind of fell off a little bit, and then I tried again during COVID, but my brain felt bad, as did, I'm sure, a lot of ours, so I stopped. And this is the time. I recently graduated. I have a degree in media and communications and theater arts with a performance concentration, and I almost had an English lit minor, but they didn't give it to me because I didn't take a 100 level English class. I wish I was kidding, but we're here now. Welcome to the booktube newbie tag. The booktube not so newbie tag. Hopefully this fixes my commitment issues. It will. I feel that this will be good for all of us. The first question is, why did you start this channel? I adore books and reading. I got a little bit bogged down with the amount of reading that I had to do while I was in college, and I wasn't always reading for pleasure. I mean, that's just what happens. You get busy, things slip away as you have to reprioritize. But I do love books so much, and as soon as I graduated, I started reading as voraciously as I did when I was a kid, and I really love talking about them. I also went to school for a lot of creative things, and I love making things. And since I've graduated, I've been busy. I've worked and I went on a road trip. It was crazy. But then I got home and I was like, okay, now what? As many graduates, I think, experience and feel. And I just realized what I've always known, which is that I am so interested in storytelling in any capacity, and I just want to keep making things. And this is the perfect venue to do it because I can do it on my own terms with my own taste and my own agency. So this channel is not only going to be about books. It's probably going to be about media in general, but with a concentration in like literature, and I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to feel creatively invigorated and like fulfilled again. What are some fun and unique things that you can bring to booktube? I am really excited to integrate different forms of media into this channel and have it, again, not just be about books, exploring all of the different ways that literature is in conversation with other media. And I have a particular interest in music. I love talking about it. I think that is interesting too. So trying to figure out how to integrate the two is something that I'm really excited about. And I have ideas for series that I'd like to start. Like, I'm already working on a video, maybe I'll tease it, about a certain author that everybody seems to love who just recently put out a new book. And I am a person who is not always like involved in trends as they're happening. I kind of am seeing it from the outside and I'm like, okay, do I want to dip my toe into this? Do I not? So I'm interested in making videos for people like that who are like not necessarily reading the Book Talk books while everybody's talking about them on Book Talk, and are actually just trying to like figure out if they will vibe with it and need somebody to be like, okay, this is what this thing is about. Take it or leave it if you want it. I really want to be that person because it's really helpful for me, and so maybe I could be helpful for other people. What are you most excited for about this new channel? I'm really excited to see the growth. Like, I'm starting from scratch again, basically, and like I said, I have all of these ideas and I'm curious to see how they come to fruition. Like, all of the things that I have in my head as I'm filming them, as I'm editing them, what am I going to integrate? How is the final product going to affect people, if anybody even watches it? How am I going to feel about it? How am I going to grow in that way? I'm also really excited to be a part of the community. Like, the best part about watching booktube videos, which I have been doing since I was, oh God, like 15, 14 or something. So it's been like 10, 11 years. The best part about watching them and being a part of the community, even passively as a viewer, is the other people, is talking to people, understanding that there were people as excited about the things that I was excited about. And I just would love to meet new friends and see how our interests align and like forge relationships. I think that is like the best part of any creative project, really. Like, you're excited about the thing that you're making, but you're more excited about the people that you're making it with. And even though YouTube can be kind of like a solitary profession, if you're just like sitting in your room talking to a camera by yourself, there are so many people who are doing the same thing. And there are so many people who are talking about things that you're also excited about or people who are just viewing and commenting and like feeling creatively fulfilled. I just want to make stuff. Like my goal in life, my dream is to make good stuff with good people. Like that's all I want to do with my life. Like truly, anytime I ever try to pinpoint it into something more specific than that, I get lost a bit because I'm interested in so many things. But to distill it, it would be like, I just want to make good stuff with good people. And I want this to be the venue that it happens on. Or one of the venues that it happens on. This next question says, why do you love reading? Reading kept me company when I was a kid. I like didn't have a lot of friends. I was alone a lot. I was an only child, and I wanted to like escape into different worlds and universes, and it really helped me find places to land. That is what kept me company. Those were the environments that I was like so excited to sink into. When I got in trouble when I was a kid, my parents would try to take books away from me. They were like, she doesn't do anything but read. And they were like, they would have like this moral dilemma because they would need to punish me for something, but at the same time they didn't want to like make me not read. They thought it was great that I was reading, so they would have this whole thing, and then they would eventually take my books away. But I had so many books and I went to the library all the time that I would just read another book. Like this has been my life forever. Another thing about reading that I think is awesome is what you get to learn about yourself and your taste as you grow. Like my tastes are changing as I get older, and I'm reading more memoirs, or I'm reading more adult literary fiction, or genres that maybe I didn't really pick up when I was younger, and seeing how I relate to them, how they affect me is different as an adult, as I'm growing and being introspective about my own ideas and perspectives and my own beliefs. I'm reading these books about people who are going through the same thing or who are in environments different from mine, and I get to read about their thought processes and perspectives, which has always been one of the things that's made me excited. But as I get older and I question more things, or I experience like the growing pains of my mid-20s, I get to examine the things in myself through the people that I'm reading about without even realizing that I'm doing it sometimes. And I think that is like really sick. Like I just finished reading Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton, going back to what I said before about like not reading Book Talk books while they're popular on Book Talk necessarily. But I just finished reading her memoir, and so many of the lessons that she was talking about, if I had read them when I was a teenager, I would have thought that they were so far away, or I would have looked at them through a particularly tinted lens, I think. Not meaning to, but I was just younger and I was just different. And now I'm reading it and understanding how closely those things that she's speaking about can apply to my life or affect my understanding of the people around me or my relationship to myself. And I just think that that's really sick. I think it helps you relate to people and yourself more. It just expands your worldview too. Like the world is so huge, and I can feel the vastness of the world when I'm reading. And I think that that's important to understand, that you exist in the context of everyone who came before you. It's important to realize that you didn't just fall out of a coconut tree. You know what I mean? The next question is, what book or series got you into reading? Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief is my favorite book. I have read it. I was going to say I've read it more times than I've read any other book, but I actually think I've now read Red, White, and Royal Blue more times than I've read The Lightning Thief, which is crazy because I've read it so many times. But it's my favorite book. I love it so much. And it was the first series that I ever really felt like I needed to read and keep reading, and I needed the next book, and I needed all the books that came after. And when I was in middle school and the Heroes of Olympus were coming out, I would run to the bookstore. That was definitely the catalyst for me. I used to love taking quizzes about who I thought my godly parent was. I still don't know. Again, as an adult, I'm like, oh God, I'm more honest with myself. I have no idea. I want to know who my godly parent is really bad. If any of you have a really, really good godly parent quiz that you've taken that you're this is the Pottermore of godly parent quizzes, drop it in the comments. I want to know. I love this next question. It says, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I think I would ask them about consistency. When you're reading books for videos, you have to plan in advance. So being able to schedule your reading so that you understand when each video can come out, and then being consistent in doing that, being able to track your progress enough, and then be able to schedule yourself in a way where you can continuously execute excellently. So figuring out consistency in something that requires so much planning, I'd be interested to know. I'd also love to know how people meet people. It seems like it happens organically, but I'm wondering if like people are DMing people or people are just leaving comments on videos or you're going to events and stuff. Like, how do you get out there like physically and meet the people that are also doing it with you? Because like I said, it's one of the reasons why I'd like to do this in the first place. And I think I'd also ask them about continuing to feel creative. Sometimes the space can feel oversaturated with the same kind of video. And I don't always think that that's a bad thing. People make certain kinds of videos a lot because people like to watch them a lot. So it makes sense that those are the things that are being made. I mean, I love a reading vlog. There are so many reading vlogs and I will still watch them. I love watching them. But I wonder if making them all of the time still feels creatively fulfilling, if people are still excited to do that, if people ever feel like they're in ruts with making the same kinds of videos. Number one, as other people, or number two, as they have always been. But again, like that's comparison. Like, is that helpful or hurtful? So questions like that, I'd be really interested to hear the answers to. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I definitely think consistency, like I was saying before with scheduling and stuff. I want to be conscious about not feeling too drained because this channel is going to be more than just books. I mean, to be like completely frank, maintaining a level of privacy while still being open could be hard because I think some people, they start doing this and they feel like they need to give more and more of themselves to the internet, but I've never been one to enjoy doing that. So making sure that I'm respecting my own boundaries while I do this too. But this channel isn't going to be about like my personal life. It's going to be about like the stuff that I'm watching or reading or consuming that other people are as well, and talking about that. So I think it'll ultimately be fine, but it's not something that I haven't thought about. The next question is, when did you start reading? I've been reading since I could physically read. I would be the person who like took out the max amount of books in the library, and all the librarians knew me by name, and that would be where I hung out after school and stuff. I was like reading forever. The last question is, where do you read? I read everywhere. I'm reading in my room. I'm reading at work sometimes. I'm allowed. It's fine. I like drive to the beach and I read. Like I read everywhere, but I read a lot in the car. I listen to audiobooks. I'm an audiobook girly for sure. I love driving. I take a lot of road trips. I just went on a road trip this summer and I read a bunch of books. And I just last weekend went on a little bit of a trip to New York for my birthday. And I finished one of the books that I'm reading for one of the next videos that's going to be on this channel. So I'm reading all the time, everywhere, constantly. So those were all the questions for the booktube newbie tag. I'm really excited to do this. I'm really stoked to see where it goes and where this channel ends up. I have really big dreams and goals for this channel, and hopefully how it can affect other people, or what I can make and what I can make with other people. I sometimes think about the fact that if I kept doing this when I was in high school, then I would have been doing this for about 9 years. Oh my God. If I stuck with it, this would have been my 9th year doing YouTube or doing booktube or doing whatever. And when I think about the things that I could have made or where I could be now, I'm like, man, I really gave up on something that could have been so creatively fulfilling. But I don't look on it with a lot of regret. I just kind of think, well, now is the time to be consistent, and I know what it feels like to not. So I'm just like not interested in gypping myself of any cool, fulfilling creative experiences anymore. I'm really interested in being consistent. I have the time and the space to without burning myself out, which is really nice. So I'm really excited to see where this channel takes us. I'm excited to meet all of you. Please leave a comment and do all those things I say, assuming that there are people watching this right now. Hello, hi. Please tell me you exist. That would be awesome. Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at Chris_Sophia13. TikTok is the same. I'll be posting more stuff there. And yeah, it's so good to be back. I wonder if I should bring back my old outro. I used to go, thanks for watching. No, what did I say? I used to go, yeah, I think I did thanks for watching and read a book. And then I went like this.